Financial problems. Elder law. Tax problems. Business matters. Divorce. Personal injury. Bankruptcy. Your life. Your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross. Financial problems. Elder law. Tax problems. Business matters. Divorce. Personal injury. Bankruptcy. Your life. Your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is Maybe I Need Another Strategy. Pat Simasko, good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Jeffrey Kirshner.
I'm always glad to have second chances.
Who are you? Brian Small.
I am Brian Small, and I am pleased to be here this morning.
Glad to have you. So, glad to see you. So maybe I need another strategy. Remember last week we talked about Jim and Mary. And Jim and Mary had $85,000 of income, and we addressed what they had to do or should do to avoid foreclosure on their home, to get rid of $50,000 of credit card debt, to deal with a $50,000 arrearage in income taxes with a tax lien, and how to resolve that problem. But here's the question I want to take for this week. A little bit different approach in some respects. They had $85,000 of income, and they're going to have $85,000 of income going forward. What do they need to do and look at to avoid falling into the same trap that they did the last time, so that they don't end up with tax debt again, they're not facing foreclosure, and they don't amass $50,000 of credit card debt? $85,000 of income is not like winning the $850 million lottery. But the question is there a way that they break the cycle of getting into debt, then getting out of debt,
And then back into debt.
yeah,
And then back out, and then back in.
because the goal still, our goal is preserve future income for you and your family. You need to find a way so that you're saving some money for retirement. So when you get 3-point retirement plan, own your home free and clear, have zero debt, and have some cash in the bank and savings. So it's a difficult tact. So let's just say, change the facts a little bit and develop it. Jim and Mary have no tax debt. They have credit card debt. They have equity in their home of $100,000. Now, they've come to Brian. They've come to Thav Gross, and we're trying to solve their problem step one. Before we're talking about avoiding getting into the problem. They're not at Chapter 7, right?
No, well, let's legally, they could file a Chapter 7 because I probably could fashion a Chapter 7 at that income range. However, the ramifications of Chapter 7 are kind of a mega consequence, and we don't want them to file a Chapter 7. Jim and Mary, if they filed a Chapter 7 with $100,000 worth of equity in their home and $100,000 worth of credit card debt, would end up having the trustee sell their home out from under them.
Yeah, so from
Depending on their age,
so
they
no
would get.
solution.
We could protect anywhere from $45,000 to $57,000 equity in the home, but they would still lose the home.
And that excess money would go to pay off the credit card debt.
It would go towards the credit card debt
Okay.
on a pro rata basis.
I would summarize that strategy as being the last thing in the world that I would want if I was Jim and Mary. Would you agree?
Yes, that is
Okay.
it.
All right,
But it's a legal
legally you could do
possibility.
it, but it doesn't work well. What about a Chapter 13?
So now at Chapter 13, remember what I just said. I can protect through exemptions a certain amount of money that they have to pay back, that they're the value of the asset. So anywhere from $45,000 to $57,000, depending on their ages, could be protected. So that still leaves about $40,000 to $50,000 that has to be
Paid back.
dealt with. So if you file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you have to be able to pay back the non-exempt portion
That
of the
40,
of
50,000?
the asset, right?
Over what, 5 years?
Over a 5-year period, which would make Jim and Mary's payment in a bankruptcy at least about $800 to $1,200 a month.
And it would go 5 years.
And
So
out
if
of
I'm Jim and Mary,
85,000,
I'm saying, well, the 7 idea made me want to vomit, and the 13 makes me extremely nauseous.
right? Because at
So that's not a
800,
So it's an
solution.
improvement, though.
Yes,
it is
a little
an
bit
improvement.
better. Right.
But at $800 to $1,200 per month over 60 months, if only their income is $85,000, that's a huge portion of their income that they need
Yeah.
to pay into a Chapter 13. So again,
So
as
if I,
we're-
so wait, if I can't resist this. So if I'm Jim and Mary, I don't want this guy because I don't want the 7 and 13.
Thank you.
Unless you got another idea for me.
I do happen to have another idea. Remember the name of the topic? Maybe I need another strategy.
There we go.
What would Brian do?
What would
What would
Brian
Brian do?
But we need to make. The reason I did the Chapter 7 and the Chapter 13 analysis for our video for our watchers is really so that people understand that there is more than one solution, and just because
And there's an analysis.
yes, and just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it isn't possibility. Now, looking at what might be the
All right,
best
so
option.
7 and 13 are legal solutions, but they're not optimal solutions because you have a better idea. What's the better idea?
Debt resolution combined with budget management.
Okay, all right. So tell me first about how we get rid of this $50,000 of credit card debt.
Well, we need to settle
With debt
Well, it's
resolution.
$100,000 worth of credit card debt, and
It
we need
grew.
to yeah, and we
Well,
need
with
to settle
interest,
it.
it would be $100,000 in about 2 weeks.
We need to settle it, and the average settlement in debt resolution is we range from 20 to 60 cents on the dollar, but the average is between 37 and 42 cents on the dollar.
And taking all the credit card debt.
Right, so-
so how and how do you go about doing that?
Well, we
'Cause
have to.
here's what I want to know is I see commercials for debt settlement that are running. They usually play a song. They say we've set. If you have more than $10,000 of credit card debt, you're eligible for a secret super program
Right.
that nobody knows except us. So call our number. Is that what you're talking about? Because if it is, I'm going to throw you out either the window or the door.
Well, the last time I checked, there hasn't been a secret super program ever from the federal government that deals with credit card debt. There's
Or
some-
tax debt for that matter.
There
There
are
are
some-
no secrets.
Yeah, there are some legal solutions from the government. Those usually end up in a bankruptcy or offers in compromise.
All right, so it's not debt settlement.
No, this
How's
is
it different?
the art-
But we're coming up to a break. But
Yes, the art of negotiation.
we'll take a break and when we come back, we're going to explain debt resolution.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
Jim and Mary, $100,000 of credit card debt. We've ruled out Chapter 7 and we ruled out Chapter 13. They're not the optimal. Debt resolution. Here's how we do debt resolution. We stop paying the credit card debt. We're attorneys. We let the credit card companies will at one point in time, they'll either do one of two things. They'll wear down and they'll settle, or they'll file a lawsuit and then they'll settle if you handle it the proper way. You can't do it yourself, you need a lawyer, because if they sue, you need to defend the case. Sometimes we have to request depositions of their credit manager and do some things to put pressure on the credit card companies that they don't like, and then they will settle.
Can't you just call them ahead of time and say, I want to settle my debt?
Well,
What will
Mrs.
you
Smith
take?
or Mr. Smith, it's really a wonderful concept. Thank you so much. But here at Visa and MasterCard, we noticed that you're 100% current with your bills. So, no.
And the other thing that they'll do is they'll lie to you. They'll say there are absolutely no programs available in which we ever reduce the amount of the debt. We will defer your interest for 6 months from 29% down to 9%, but we will never, ever settle the debt. You may hear those things on TV,
Liar.
but it's not true. They lie through their teeth. That's reality. But the strategy works, and then cases get over a 24-month period. We get rid of the debt, 18 to 24 months. If we don't think we can get rid of the debt in 18 to 24 months, then it's usually a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 7 is the right solution. But debt resolution is the perfect solution for someone that has a lot of credit card debt and has too much income to make a Chapter 7 or a 13 work. We charge 8.5% of the debt. Debt settlement companies, we were talking about before the break, they charge 15%, and then they charge a monthly fee to hold your money
It's
for
actually
you.
15 to 18%.
Yeah,
of the service,
and they don't
service fees.
defend you if you don't get sued. So debt resolution is a viable, good solution.
We defend?
We defend.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
right. We defend the client if they get sued, because the reality is that we are a law firm and we will do a complete job.
And you're going to lose your credit card, though, right?
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Your credit card's lost already. I mean, if you think about it, when the average person walks into our office,
You should have
to see
lost
us,
it a long time ago.
This is true.
That would have been a good
but
thing.
They've already crept up to the fact that they're hitting the maximum credit line.
So they can't even use the credit card.
They credit cards, they pay it down, they charge it back up. They pay it down, they charge it back up. They're in the credit card trap.
And that's the point. If you don't do this, the person who does debt resolution is sometimes struggling to make their minimum payments, and they're worried about protecting their credit score, which they think is the biggest, button in the world that they need to wear on their chest. So they keep paying the credit cards at 29% interest. And you know what? They'll do it for 29 years. And at the end of the 29 years, on their tombstone, it's going to say, my credit score never dipped below 690, and I died broke.
That was
And
mostly,
I had to borrow from my children for food the last 5 years of my life.
Right.
You need to get out of the credit card trap, and the only way to get out of it is to get rid of the debt. If all of a sudden you're going to just pay off the credit cards and you still think you're going to have money to live off of, it's not going to happen unless you either all of a sudden double your income or something happens. The simple solution is you get rid of the debt. Now, you get rid of the debt. You do the debt resolution. Now you're back to stage one. You got $85,000 of income. You have no tax problems that we took care of last week. You got no credit card debt. You got some equity in your home. how do you go forward and live and not get back into the problem so that you can start saving money, talking to Pat maybe of ways to invest it? What's the solution?
What I would
here?
do is don't ever get that money out of your paycheck. Set up a retirement account immediately and have the money from your paycheck go into your retirement account, your IRAs or separate savings account, so they never get it into their checking account.
So now
Start
that's
saving.
a fantastic idea from the standpoint of forcing someone to live within their means and forcing you to save. But
But I would try that for 1 week, for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I had no money to buy anything. So I either then say I either need a credit card, or I'd go back and say, don't tell Pat, but I'm taking that money.
Well, let me answer that then. If that person is not responsible enough to do that, you better talk to his parents at that point, because if he inherits that whole lump sum from his parents, he's going to spend it in 2 months or 2 years. It'll all be gone. So the parents can set up
parents got money.
Well, let's assume, and they probably do. And then when he retires, he won't have anything. So the parents can set up an estate plan that will distribute money to him over his whole lifetime.
To protect the money from his creditors.
Protect him from himself, from his overspending.
Now I want to shift it over to Brian, because that's a solution that takes care of protecting him from himself.
Right.
Now,
overspending.
how can you fix him?
So
fix me.
Fix
Make me.
overspending.
I'm Jim, and I'm responsible for the one who's allowed Mary to get me buried in debt with the credit cards.
I don't know if you allow. I don't know if
We're going to blame her.
I don't know if you're saying it.
This is completely a joke. But the point is, I'm both Jim and Mary, and we can't seem to manage not to spend the money. You have a solution?
I do have a solution. And first of all, let's
What do you call it?
I call it budget management.
All right, listen, I don't like the concept of tightening my belt.
No,
You know what that
it's
does?
not belt tightening.
Tightening my belt, all it does is give me a stomach.
So everybody's familiar with the concept of belt tightening. What that is denying yourself something over a short period of time so that you can save up money to achieve a goal. I need to fix the furnace. I need to fix the transmission. I need to get the roof repaired. I'm going to deny myself something in order to achieve the goal. And once you achieve the goal, what happens? You go back to the
start
same.
eating all over
Yeah, you
again.
start. You go back to the
I
same
gotta achieve my goal.
behaviors.
Let's go have a party.
Imagine how tight that belt would be.
I gotta go shopping.
No, that's exactly right. You go back to the same behaviors you had before. I know we're coming up to a break, but I will just
What's
tell
the
you
magic
this.
words?
Budget management is all about eliminating waste.
And finding satisfaction in your spending.
Absolutely, to gain and earn wealth.
After the break, you're going to explain to us what that means.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Samasco Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Samasco Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
Time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays 11:30 a.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. for Law and Reality Live on Praise 102.7 FM. Then on Thursdays 3 to 4, Law and Reality Now on 9:10 a.m. with Cliff Russell. Also remember to sign up for the monthly contest. Free $50 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and copy of my book Dump Your Debt. Go to the websites lawandreality.com or thavgross.com to sign up. We've got seminars coming up on Wednesday, October 11th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Unless you shed the debt, you will never be free. We're going to go through all the systems that we use to preserve future income for you and your family. Bankruptcy is one option. We also have solutions outside of bankruptcy using debt resolution. We will have a special segment with Jeff Kirshner talking about the basic elements of addressing a disability claim. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Remember, that's Wednesday, October 11th. Then on Wednesday, November 8th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., we have a seminar, An Estate Plan Will Avoid Major Problems. We're going to go through the essential elements of a proper plan, avoiding problems with proper planning, protecting your spouse and your children. Attendees get a gold certificate for $300 off any estate plan. Sign up at lawandreality.com, thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Also remember, you can always come into Thav Gross or through Law and Reality for a free consultation. If you want to talk about Medicaid issues, you can meet with Pat Samasco, disability issues with Jeffrey Kirshner, financial issues, business issues with me or Brian Small or any of the members of the Thav Gross team. Just go to the websites to sign up and request a consult, or you can always call 888-235-HELP. Take a look at the websites. We've got free reports. You can download them for free. One dealing with foreclosure, another one dealing with Social Security, a third one dealing with formation of a business. We'll be right back.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so budget management, changing your satisfaction in spending. There's a great story that you tell in our seminars that we do it very well, that sometimes I've tried to suggest to you we don't have time for the story, but you still tell the story anyway. So go ahead and tell the story. Try to make it in less than 3 minutes if you can.
Mrs. Smith comes in to see me. She's got problems about where her money's going. She can't figure it out. We've determined that she's living beyond her means and she's wasting a considerable amount of money. What do I mean by wasting? Now, when you're talking about
get it done in 3
belt
minutes.
tightening, we don't want to, we deny ourselves something. I don't want to deny anyone anything. I want to find a different solution for Mrs. Smith so that she has
I'm
the
Mrs.
same
Smith,
result.
and I stop at Starbucks every morning.
$4
and I spend $4.
$4.30 a day.
Okay, solve my. So it's costing me how much money?
$111 a month.
Okay, what did you do to solve Mrs. Smith's problem?
So Mrs. Smith is spending $111 a month on coffee at Starbucks. She lives a mile from where she works and she goes to Starbucks in between. By having Mrs. Smith, what was my solution? I said, make your coffee at home. She says, it doesn't taste the same. I said, oh my God.
Doesn't
anyway,
taste the same.
So what I
better.
had Mrs. Smith do, I said, why? She goes, it's the machine at Starbucks. I said, that's amazing. I had her go out and buy an $800 coffee machine. She bought an $800 coffee machine.
What kind of machine?
It was a DeLonghi.
I want to write that down. All right, go ahead.
Wait.
Anyway, so she bought this
Michelle,
machine.
don't buy a DeLonghi.
Completely ridiculous sounding, right?
So she buys the machine
What
at
does-
your suggestion.
At my suggestion. And what happens then is she doesn't go to Starbucks anymore. She makes her coffee at home.
And you told her that's the condition. You're going to buy the machine, and for 1 month you can't go to Starbucks.
So now she only spends $11 on coffee beans instead of $111.
But what happened the first day when she came back after the month? And
Well,
she,
I
and you
said
asked
to her, I said, Mrs. Smith, how was that coffee? She goes, oh my God, it's the best coffee ever. And I said,
And she was being sincere because
Yeah.
it tasted good.
and I said, you mean better than Starbucks? She goes, oh my God, it's so much better than Starbucks. So then I told her she owed me my bill. And she's like,
Because
what?
she owed you $800.
She did. I told her not to pay me unless I solved her problem. Now, what did I do? I got her a coffee machine. She makes her coffee at home. 8 months after she buys the machine, she's $100 ahead every month for the rest of her life.
Because she's saving the money enough. She's spending $11 a month on coffee
Instead of
rather than
$111. And the whole concept is we adapted her behaviors.
Still has the coffee she likes.
She gets coffee she likes, and she saved $100. Now imagine if we can do that with just one simple concept of a $4.30 cup of coffee a day. Imagine what we can do when we are exploring every expense that you make, trying to get the most satisfaction out of the spending that you do, and eliminating the wasteful spending that you don't remember about.
And
Let
I
me
need,
give you- let me
I
give
need
you a
Brian to
quick
give
story.
advice to my clients who are disabled, who can't work. Imagine then when you're struggling, when you're working. Imagine when you don't have an income for 12, 18,
You've got-
24
because
months.
People
you
will
gotta
still
par
waste
down.
money.
They
Right.
absolutely will, but they need to adjust whatever tangible.
How do they
and-
stop spending the money on cigarettes is a shocking thing. How do they stop?
You know what? That's again, that's a
that's
health
I was
provider
thinking
issue.
the same thing. That's a difficult one because so many people are in a situation where they have so little income and
They're
cigarettes
not
at
paying
$5,
diapers, but
$6
they're
a
buying
pack.
cigarettes.
So what happens here, though, at the end of the day, is we're finding solutions to eliminate. We're addressing every single item that's being expended. What's our goal? Then once we find the items that are being expended, we eliminate the wasteful ones, and we establish goals of things to do with the money, which gets the money back over to Pat, because a goal is going to be to have retirement money. If you just said to somebody, I need you to put $100 a week into your retirement, how? Because they spend it all in the first place. If you find a way to eliminate the waste in the budget so that the wealth is created,
That makes
And
sense.
we
the
can
more
invest
important
it.
thing is there's ways of doing it that are, believe it or not, fun. When you make if you make the change and you perceive it as punishment, you're miserable. But if you make the change and you see it as being beneficial, then you're supportive of it, and then you get enjoyment out of it. Because all of a sudden, you're still getting the satisfaction you want, and the additional satisfaction is you're not going into debt, and you're saving money every month for retirement. Thanks for watching. We will be back next week with Law and Reality.